What up, guys? It's Skymasters here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. Listen, hot topic been as of lately, base building and base manipulation and base stuff. We need to understand bases a little bit better and what is actually going on. So, on a fundamental level, we're not even going to go into the game on this video. We're going to go into the file system, okay? And we're going to talk about the complexities of the file system because these things are in tiny little increments, and that's the key to this whole thing. So if you want to learn about how to manage and understand bases a little bit more, follow me into this video.
All right, guys, listen, I sat down for a long time thinking about how exactly I was going to do this video. How can we understand bases in our file systems? Man, we got to go to the source, to the fundamentals. We're going into the file systems themselves. And as I was doing this, I went over to a very large hub, and well, I've been struggling to open some files. And just recently, I have been sharing a lot of music files with some people and having some kind of a problem. And now it's connecting. It's connecting in my head that this is probably the issue and this is probably what's happening. I've kind of thought of this before because it's kind of overwhelming. But man, when you got a big old PC, you think that a small file isn't that much of a trouble, right? Yeah, I got a huge PC, 8 cores. Knocks things out of the park, right? But when you have to compartmentalize everything into small little sections, well, things get a little bit trickier there, okay? And I think that's what's kind of happening in the realm of No Man's Sky. It's not a Hello Games issue or a problem. Now, with that being said, I'm talking about what I see on my end. I am not able to explain or validate the reasons for why Hello Games' discoveries and their servers are broken, because all of this information seems to get jumbled and mixed up within the game. I don't know why it can't stay to its respectable origin locations. Can't answer that for you. For that, I am just as perplexed as to why the game has always been broken. It's a super disappointment. Sean Murray, get off your butt and fix it. Okay, so with that being said, let's go into the file system here. I was told you that I was in somebody's big, large hub system, and I tell you what it does is it kind of locks up my Java program. If I sat here and waited around for a long time, it would eventually load, or it will just lock up the program and freeze sometimes. Now, that's just an issue that you have to deal with. Now, I have a way of getting around this in hubs, which is I will go and lay my base down in a huge hub, and then I will get out of the hub system, and then I'd open up my file system, which means it's only going to have my files inside of it. When I leave your hub, all your files leave my file system, okay? When I join the hub, I have to get all this information into my file systems. All right? There's a lot of things that are going to dictate how this proceeds and how well this functions. Your internet speeds, what kind of drive you have. Do you have multiple drives? There's a lot of things. What can your computer handle? And these files are complex, and they have to be read in small increments. All right? Each part of your base has an X, Y, Z, color. There's a lot of information. So times that by the base part limit, 3,000, 2,000, whatever it is, it's a lot. And then you get a whole bunch of people with bases that are filled out like as art bases at a hub, and you have a problem, okay? Now, I mentioned earlier about my music group, us sharing files, okay? So just recently, I've been sharing some files, and I have to tell people, I have this file here. It's called 47,000 song files. This is every classic rock, classic, everything in MIDI format. This is a really cool file, guys. If anybody wants it, hit me up in the comments section. I'll hook you up, okay? But when I hook people up with this file here, I have to tell them in advance, this file is not all that big. Look at the size of the file. It's 369 megabytes, okay? Now, with my beast of a PC, it takes about 45 minutes to unzip this folder. I have some other MIDI files that are in the millions that you better take a half a day to unzip the file. Now, I can unzip huge files quickly Man, my 8-core beast of a machine over here is a beast, but I throw this at it. It has to think in small increments, a whole bunch of them. And it locks up. It takes a long time for it to unzip this file. Now, I'd imagine that translates over to the same thing that's kind of happening in the realm of No Man's Sky while it's reading these base files. Okay, now I'm going to go into one of these base files, and I can't go into the one that I want to go into. This one here, my custom one, is in a hub, and if I try to open up this file, it's going to lock up. Maybe we'll do that last so you can see it. But let's go into a different file here. Let's go into a very old one so I can know that it's going to open up. I'm going to go up into my edit raw JSON file here, and we're going to go into our player state data and run all the way down to persistent player bases. Okay, so now that I open up, you can see that it only has 2 in here now. Very manageable. I laugh. So when I come in here and click on this, I can hit a Control A, and we can light this up, and we can actually see what's in here. Timestamp, object ID, user data, and a position, XYZ. Object ID is probably what's going to give its, and I think there's some message, timestamp. There's no color, position, up at. I think the timestamp, the ID. Each part with each color probably has a different ID. So yeah, so that's quite a bit of information, and each one has to be read in its separate thing. Each one of these has to be read separately. So each line has to be read separately. Each one of these sections has to be read separately, and then it has to be all put together. Whew, just saying it is exhausting. Imagine your PC trying to do this, or your console, or whatever kind of machine that you're working on. If you've got a potato doing this, and you've got one hard drive, and that hard drive is doing something else, and it's updating, and you're on Discord talking, and on Twitter talking, and you're downloading another file, well, you're having a lot of issues, man. You know, I have a lot of issues, and I've got SSDs. And I've got a lot of drives, and I've got plenty of options. So if I'm sitting here with one of the top of the line PCs and I'm having some issues, well, then I'm sure that everybody's going to have an issue, and that it's just going to be like that, right? That's what I think. I think it's pretty simple to understand after you think about it like this. Now let's try to go back in here and open up this custom file. Now you're going to see that there's going to be like 51 bases in here. It's super crazy, and it's probably just going to lock up, and I'm not even going to wait around for it because, well, that doesn't make a really cool video, and I think you guys get my gist here now. See if it'll even open it up. Sometimes I have to close down Java all the way. It's a weird program. It gets it acts weird sometimes. So just go back in here, open up the whole program again, and then we'll go back into my custom save. Watch it pop up. All right, see, I think it has like a little container file, so it kind of gets itself in a bind. I don't know if someone could rewrite this better to handle it and optimize its using in reading and writing these files, but that person is not me, so that's not going to happen today. So we're going to jump into this large file system. I just want you guys to see how crazy this gets. And persistent player bases down here. Now we can see there's 52 bases in here, and I'm on, well, I don't know how many files are going to be mine on this, but and I'm probably have to wait for a minute. Let's see if we can click on one now. I usually don't wait for this. It usually takes me less time to just leave the system, jump out of the game, build my stuff, and come back in. I have way less of a hard time, and I don't have to deal with all of this. Now, these are all art bases. Now, if I wanted to sit here and wait, and there's a base that I want to check out, I will. I'll go walk away, go work on the car, go do something outside, come back in, and I'll have it all put up. And then I'll go and save it, and I don't have to do it again. But this seems to be an issue and a hang-up. So after all this, after doing the music stuff, I feel like it just clicked in my head that this was probably the problem, and it's just it's a jumbled up mess to try to figure out. How do you solve that? You have to have it in increments. It has to be at XYZs. It has to have a part location and all that information, and it has to be in those little segments. And it has to be shared if you want to share it, if you're uploading it. And like I said, if you're having problems, just turn your multiplayer off and get these files out of your system, man. It's crazy. If you're at a big hub and you're having an issue, boom, This is it, man. This is your issue right here. This is a lot of information that needs to be read in small increments. That takes power. That takes brain power. More brain power than your and my small little grain pieces of meat chunks up in there can handle. And our computers are very struggling. The consoles are struggling. And that's how we can understand base building on a very fundamental level and maybe what's going on. So the other stuff with people stealing your stuff, I don't think that's a big deal. I think that's a problem that famous geeks have. What a problem. Oh, you have people coming over and griefing you. Stop making videos and putting it out there, you know? More units, more problems, right? That's what they say. To me, it's a famous geek problem, and you're lucky to have one. And what else would we do about this? What's broken? There's nothing broken besides this is hard to manage. And if everybody had a strong mega PC, they would still be having some issues. So don't feel so bad about it, all right? And with that being said, I love you guys. Thanks for watching the video. Call somebody up. Tell them that you love them.
Fucking No Man's Sky, play around. Motherfucker, if you don't know, go check it out. It's the Ma, quit leaving me alone. I'm trying to make a song, Mom. Stop it. Get out of here.
Ooh, No Man's Sky? You like No Man's Sky? I like No Man's Sky. We both like No Man's Sky, and we have something in common already. I like odd things that nobody has done before, and I do odd things that nobody has done before in the realm of No Man's Sky. So you should maybe go check those things out. They're underneath. They've been buried so far, nobody knows about them. Go check out all these cool videos of mine, and then smash that like and subscribe and hit that little bell down there so you know when that next video that nobody's seen has come out, and you can be the first one to comment. I'll see you on the next video, guys. Peace.